who is Naila Qazi. She's actually the founder of CCL Canada, and she helps organizations lead change with clarity and confidence. She has an experience across sectors. She likes to simplify complex transitions and put people at the center. Her approach blends practical strategy with a strong focus on leadership, learning, and inclusion. So this was about the companies and guest speaker. Now it's time to get to the topic, and I would like to give this presentation or the control to Naila.
Thank you so much.
Naila, you can carry on.
Yeah, I think, guys, welcome everybody. Good morning or good afternoon or maybe lunchtime in some parts of the world. We're very, very fortunate to have people from around the globe. We have plenty of people registered, but I could see that the number is increasing, and like within a few minutes we will have more people join us. Some of my senior people, but we were talking about change not in a sense that we could control as an organization, but how do we survive as a consulting. It was a wastewater consulting and construction consulting, that how do we survive when there is no business, say for example, or even the clients are diminishing and we are letting lots of people go, that how do we survive. So that change, the project was called Passion for Purpose, and that stood with me for all my life. I think change is not just as we think. Each one of us could do change. We may have done change, and we take a naive approach to that, and that no wonder McKinsey reports and all the other like researching organizations, you look up and you would be surprised that even after AI, the percentage of failure in change is way more than it was before. So the ratio is 70% failure in change to 90% sometimes failure in change. Different reports cite different number. What does that mean? That means that when we launch change, we need certain methodology. When we launch change, we need some passion for purpose, that why are we doing it. All right, so I'll just start with the story which really impacted my career, which really impacted me as a professional. And I realized that when change happens, it's not that one aspect changes. You have to be able to lead that change. You have to be able to take that change from end to end. That means from planning to strategizing. You have to be that intersection of planning, strategy, to execution, and you should be thriving on that. If you don't do that, you leave just one part out, and post go, what happens, like when the change is launched, the people go back to the bad habits, and that's where change fails. So guys, warm up your fingers, because it's a very interactive session, and I really wanted to know where you joining us from today. The biggest issue with change is where we get roadblocks is inspiring purpose. So we don't have the purpose. So we don't have teams which are aligned with a shared purpose for the future. If we have the purpose, in most of the cases, it's not articulated very well. So in terms of that, you need leadership team to be part of it. So they have to articulate in some way. You have to communicate it through emails. You have to communicate it through newsletters. That purpose needs to be communicated depending on the size of the organization at least 3 months prior to you start your project. Generally what happens, where the failure happens, and I have been part of those projects here in Canada and some parts of Australia and North America as well, that we jump on the project, we just start the project, and half of the organization does not even know what we're doing. And frankly, some of the stakeholders who are senior leaders, like VPs in an organization, if we have 10 VPs, you ask 5 of them in one-on-one interviews, they would have no clue. They would just know, yeah, we know we are launching SAP, but they would have no idea when, how, what, because their biggest fear is A, people may lose job, B, people may not be ready, and C, what is the timeline? Because everybody is worried about the timeline. So where we make mistake in as leaders, for example, some of you may be leaders, some of you may be change practitioners, learning and development professionals, or many other professionals you are in the room today. I think where my experience of like say 20 years, I would share that where I've seen that purpose, which is inspiring, is not crystal clear, it's not communicated, is from Microsoft. Like, so they they wanted to bring a change, and instead of bringing a change, they didn't want it to bore people. They called it empowering each and every individual. That was their inspiring purpose. So when they communicated it so well, the purpose went great, like change happened on its own. And likewise, Deloitte has connected workplaces, and I worked here at Rogers on Deloitte models. We used shared workspaces. So when we changed the workspaces and we changed the language communication to shared workspaces, connected workspaces, change happened on its own. So the point is that you don't need to use actually the change management words itself, but you should have an inspiring purpose. So the next piece is about business growth. You really need to connect the change to measurable outcomes. People want to see the numbers. People want to see, all right, and especially the leadership team and some of the frontline staff also depends where the change is happening. And we are saying digitization of change in a digital world. People want to see the numbers. How much percentage our complaints would go down, say, for example, how much percentage the growth rate or customers' orders or the clients' interactions or our meetings with the clients or our lead generation will improve. So you have to present the number as a change practitioner, regardless you're a change manager or a leader in your organization, but being expert in change, when you are bringing digital kind of change in the organization, you have to be ready to pull those numbers whatever system you're launching, you may be launching Oracle, you may be launching SAP, you may be launching whatever, guys, you have to present the numbers. You could use Power BI for that. Qualtrics is like AI based, very, very easy to use. But my advice is go everywhere, wherever you go with numbers, because that's your biggest kind of weapon to convince that, look, if we don't use strategies which we are recommending for change, these numbers will go down. The cost of inaction, the risk raising, that is your job to do it along with the project managers, or if you are the project manager yourself, you have to do it as well. And number 3 on this slide is vivid future state. Now this is very important, vivid future state. So imagine, just close your eyes for a couple of minutes or seconds and imagine that we say that there's a great job waiting for you in a great country, but we don't tell you where is that country, which country is that, where would be your house, where would you live, what would happen with kids if you have kids, or if you don't have one, what is going to happen with rest of the things. But we give you a promise and we ship you onto a flight. Like, how are you feeling? How would you feel like if there's no vivid future kind of articulated really clearly well. So in terms of digital transformation path, it's very, very important that you have step-by-step roadmap.
Only I say we are just one step behind, as you said, inspiring business growth and vivid future state, etc. You're talking about the digitization, correct?
Yeah.
But now the world is moving towards digitization to AI mode.
Absolutely.
So there's one more jump. That's what I started as a proactively. So I was proactively thinking how the digitization we skip and move to the AI. So from
and absolutely, this is the point you raise is very, very important, and that is the reason I gave example of my early time. Even if it's now AI is a tool, digitization is a tool. Any enterprise model, SAP, ERP, Oracle, everything is a tool. But humanity is more evolving and we need to evolve with that, and our organizations unfortunately lag behind. So the step 2 is fostering agility and embracing complexity. This is very, very important. So we become agile, we become fast. And agility, I'm not talking about in terms of agile project management certification. That's great as well, because that's what I'm doing right now. But agility in terms of jumping quicker onto that. But it's your job to foster that agility, bring that environment through your talks, through your presentations, through raising risks when you meet with leaders, that we need to be really, really fast. 4 points I put on this slide. The first of all, you have to anticipate trends. And as you said, like just rightly, like really scanning horizons for upcoming shifts. Now AI, initially we thought AI is just the chat GPT. Then we found out AI is making auto videos, like you can make your own videos. Then we learned AI is this, and then so every day now agentic AI, and then Microsoft is launching like all agents, which are your personal robots. So if you go and attend Microsoft Salesforce workshops, you would really like it's like mind-blowing to see that how fast that those trends and those horizons, it sometimes looks like, are we really capable to really hold everything? Like there is so much happening due to AI and at extremely faster speed, right? And then we talk about flow with change. And I love that part because it's dancing with systems rather than controlling them. Like when I say dancing with system is, as you said, Harun, that now we have to jump to AI, and then once AI, and then it's agentic AI. So we kind of like dancing means just let it come, and whatever works for the organization will be accepted. Whatever doesn't work there will not be accepted. That's the rule of nature, rule of law, rule of kind of human survival, that what works stays there. What does not work, it dies on its own. So it's kind of dancing. It's not, you can't like close the doors and keep AI out, and you can't just all open it and bring it in, because you need to have the environment ready for that. So it's kind of, that's called like dancing with the systems. And the other one is flexible adaptation. which is very, very important. I really think that change leaders should be flexible. They should be responding quickly. They have that growth mindset. They grow, they learn, they find out newer things, and they kind of quickly change with changing conditions. Last point on this is continuous improvement. So, regularly refining your processes and approaches. Now, this point is very important because we can buy system software, we can buy AI, but if our environment is not ready for that product, your processes are not aligned to AI, and our approaches are not aligned to that, there is a mismatch, there is misalignment, and that's where McKinsey says 70 to 90% changes fail, because you can buy the system, you can spend money, but people are not using it. For example, you can launch AI Copilot, but you can't push people to use it unless you cut off all the other systems. All spreadsheets are gone, all Microsoft tool is gone, there's no other tool. They are just in this desert that there's just AI product. Of course they're going to use it. We can't just bring in a digital product and launch it when people are not ready. In change management language, we call it change readiness. We need to build that, we need to create that. And that's not just the frontline people, that's in the mind of senior leadership, C-suite executives, then the middle management, and then the frontline managers. You have to build in across all those layers. Possible. right? And then step 4 is stimulate network collaboration. This is very important. We do that on community basis. Remember how you may have temple or mosque, or you may have church, any change which we want to kind of bring into our little community. What we do, we go to that community kind of platform and we create that awareness, and then some people adopt, and later on some other people kind of say, yeah, that makes sense. That's what you have to do. You have to bring that knowledge, and you have to bring those silos. Next is foster transparency. Be transparent, right? Create a culture where information flows fully. Now, creating a culture is not your job. It's not in your control. You can't do it. It's again senior leadership team who would create a culture of being transparent, being open, and in that culture, it's possible to talk about change. The other piece is improved decision making. This is very, very important, that at what level decisions are made and how open decisions are made. So you could control that. You can call those meetings. People can show up or they not. That would show the engagement, and then you could report it to the sponsors of the project. But decision making should happen quick, fast, and open, so you can move forward. That you need that decision because you need to move forward. And the last one is team empowerment. You have to build your own team with very diverse perspective, because you need different perspective. You need to listen, okay, what HR is thinking. You need to listen because you don't know yourself. You need to have your ears and eyes everywhere, and you do it by making a big change agent network. In the next or our upcoming session, we could teach you how to do that. Step 5 is redesign work environment and technology. You can't launch an AI agentic kind of model and have people sit in like older dark cubicles, like mortar and brick kind of environment. The other piece was about implementing technology. That's introduce, innovate digital tools and platforms. But what I would say, do phase by phase. Do not do too many changes at the same time, because whoever kind of lags behind, they are not become digitized or AI kind of driven, they are going to shut their door at some stage. It's kind of very scary in that sense, but it's very comfortable in the sense that the tools are like available to everybody. Now the whole world is available. It's open to you. Look at this, like we have joined from everywhere in the world establishing digital units. One thing works very well, that if you kind of have self-serving teams, they kind of serve themselves. We're all very independent people, and we really take a lot of pride if we are given the ownership and empowerment, do the work. All right, so Naveed said, I believe communication at different levels. Yes, absolutely. That is a big resistor. I give it 10 out of 10, that communication is kind of broken phone line, because there is no streamlined communication. The messages and the perception, which is at the executive level, is very different what is at the front line level. So it's your job to make it streamlined. You show progress in one department, as I said, do it in phases, and the next phase or the next department runs after you, that, wow, we need this change. Absolutely. Very good example. Happens in real life. And Vikas said change management is difficult within matrix organization hierarchy. Absolutely, Vikas. I live that situation. I give it like thumbs up, someone else gave it, because what happens is everyone have a different political agendas, different perception, different point of views, and then it's matrix. You reporting to like people who are kind of fighting at the top, and you reporting to those matrix kind of structures, and it's very, very difficult, and there are roadblocks. But yeah, that's the fun of being change manager. And with that, I'll say thank you so much. And Sakaba, if you want to kind of wrap up and end this call, I'm happy to do that. Thanks.
Yes, sure. I actually would like to thank everyone for being a part of today's session, and I hope you have found it insightful for your professional journey. I would like to thank you especially, Naila, for such a valuable and engaging webinar. Or I would like to tell my audience to contact us on these number or emails if you would like to explore collaboration opportunities, if you would like to know about our trainings, and yeah, you're free to reach out to us. I also would like to announce the upcoming webinar, which will be on 30th of this month. This one will be focusing on practical tools and strategies that help people work together more smoothly and effectively. So it will be focusing on helping you create lasting results through better communication and shared goals.